Welcome to Discovering. Over 100 miles of trails and you can't drive to them. We're hopping on the ferry to Drummond Island for some ATVing.
If you're into outdoors and you're into outdoor recreation, you'll find it here.
And hands-on learning for Iron Mountain students. Stick around, that's all tonight right here on Discovering.
The secret streams that flow beneath the cliffs of colored stone. Forest thick and healthy with birch and pine and oak. Surrounded by the greatest lakes this world has ever known. The black bear's awesome presence as he roams the hills and fields. Call of the timber wolf, the loon's lonesome trill. The eagle soaring high above, the trout lies deep and still. These are what I treasure, the only way I measure feelings that I have for this fine land. There is so much to discover when you're a long-time lover of northern Michigan.
Drive as far east in the UP as you possibly can, and you'll end up in Detour Village. To get further, you'll need to hop on the ferry, which brings you to the gem of the Huron, Drummond Island. Drummond is famous for its pristine beauty, world-class kayaking, fantastic birding, hiking, biking, and great year-round fishing. But on this trip, we were here to ride. Drummond Island offers one of Michigan's largest closed-loop trail systems with over 100 miles of ATV and ORV trails to explore. Our ride begins at Beaver's ATV rental.
My name is Bill Beaver, and I've been renting ATVs since 2008, full-time. And that's about the time I moved to Drummond Island, and I really like the trails here, and I thought, you know, maybe something like that could be a good venture here. When so far it's been pretty good. I rent side-by-sides. I started getting into those, and I still rent the single-rider ATVs as well. And I give everybody a map, and I tell you where to go and where not to go, and try to help people be safe and keep them on trails and go in the right direction.
Now, a huge part of what makes a ride enjoyable is obviously where you ride, the scenery you ride through. It's always good to slow down and take it all in. Sometimes it's even better when you stop completely and check out some intriguing part of the UP that you might have otherwise passed by.
You don't have to drive in here. Look how far we walked. All these things are off the trails, and this is for birding. You know, it's a cranberry type of marsh. A lot of people just come here and let the day happen. You know, like I say, turn the key off. Man, let the day come to you. Drummond Island's a beautiful place, and there's a lot of places like this to explore. And instead of just staying on a trail and going, you know, zip, zip, zip with the motor, you miss this stuff. You know, you really do.
Something unique to Drummond Island and the surrounding area is the pudding stone. And sometimes you just get lucky and trip over one.
When the English were here on the island, they used these stones. They would empty their ballast stones out of their boats and put these stones in to take back and sell in England. And it was like their suet pudding. So you had the currants that were in it, and some of them there's like a black, this is white.
Or purple even.
Yeah.
Or purple or black.
Black jasper.
This is a jasper, these are jasper.
Right. And so that's cool. To actually spot one on the ground,
Yep.
lucky day.
It is. People come in looking for them.
We're just walking down the Glen Cove beach. It's a pretty cool area because once upon a time, this was one of the areas that the tribe used to gather. They'd come from Canada into this golden sand beach, So they were the first to use it, and they established, you know, different traces out of here. Just up here to the north, one of their villages is up on the side of this hill, but more importantly, afterwards then, this was used by the logging company, and they would chain barge timber in. But the far shoreline over there, you're looking at Canada. Back in the turn of the century, they were, you know, sending their timber from Canada into the States here at Drummond. You can actually find some old pilings from where they, you know, would bring them in, load it onto a narrow gauge railroad, and then the trail that we took coming in here would take them right back to the mill. So this beach has been used by folks for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and it's still a cool place. People come and go. They'll launch their kayaks from here. You can go out around the point and go back into Drummond Island. And what's nice is it's all nice sand going out there for a good ways. It's just a cool place to come. So between the trails, the fishing, the gift shops, there's a lot to do on Drummond, a lot more than people think. You know, if you're in the wilderness, if you're into hiking, that's cool, we got it. If you want to do some shopping, you want to do some boating, guess what, we got that too.
The first impression of our island should be the Drummond Island Ferry. Our ferry comes hourly to the island year-round, and when you depart the ferry, your first stop should be the Drummond Island Tourism Association. We're about 8 miles right on the Four Corners, but I have everything to make you enjoy your stay. We have maps, anything you might need to have a great time on Drummond Island. If you're staying just for the weekend and it's in the middle of the summer, you should probably go to one of the hotels. The Drummond Island Resort has a 40-room hotel. They also have log cabins and condos down on the water. There's the Drummond Island Hotel, but if you were coming for a week stay, all of the smaller resorts rent week to week, and also the Drummond Island Resort would do cabins and condos. They can sleep up to 20 people in Big Pine. H&H Resort has camping right on Pontiganissing Bay. Trailhead and the Drummond Island RV Park are both RV parks. Trailhead is on an inland lake, and the Drummond Island RV Park is on Maxton Bay, located at Waywen Resort. The Drummond Island Township Park is a rustic campground. They have 47 sites. Half of them are electric and half are not. We have 2 full-size marinas and then another marina that just does repairs. The Drummond Island Yacht Haven is right on the north side in Pontiganissing Bay and has 18 cabins, so they are a marina and a resort. And Fort Drummond Marine is on Whitney Bay on the south side of Drummond. They also have camping there and cabins to stay in, so they're a resort also. For all your hunting and fishing needs, it's Johnson's Sport Shop, right on the Channel Road, about a mile before the Four Corners. Our newest restaurant is Esther's. She is authentic Mexican and a wonderful cook. Right down the road from Esther's is a takeout, which is Waz's. The Northwood is probably the most diverse restaurant. Trailhead is a wonderful bar, restaurant, campground. We have Chuck's Bar and Grill. They are the easternmost bar in the UP. The Bear Track, it is a breakfast and lunch facility. Pinn's Bar and Grill is our newest sports bar. They have golf simulators and all types of games for kids. We also have the Gourmet Galley and Port of Call. He has brick oven pizzas and calzones and wonderful homemade fudge. Drummond Island has 2 golf courses. We have a township course that's a 9-hole course, and there is the Rock. It's an 18-hole championship golf course that was designed by Harry Bowers. If you're coming here jeeping, I can tell you which trails to ride. Depending on your level of experience, we have every type of trail from very easy to very, very, very difficult. And if you're not lifted and you're alone, I would never send you into those trails. I try to discern the type of jeeper you are and send you to the place that's going to make you happy.
It's all right here, it's self-contained. You know, you don't have to worry about getting lost. We're on the island. You know, you don't have to worry about how far do you got to travel to find the next bed. We're all real close. It's kind of a unique spot. started, to be quite honest, with the full-size Jeeps. A lot of those early fellas, you know, were going to places in the Jeeps, and it just became like a family thing. The island started Jeeping. Early on in this whole game, you know, it was just trails. You could call them forest roads or whatever. We wanted to connect them, and the state got involved. We identified where these trails are going to run. It has been a cooperative effort with the DNR. You know, wildlife came in, we had biologists come in. So the trails were sanctioned and are sanctioned and inventoried by the state of Michigan. We work really closely with the snow trails, you know, so it's the island trails. The Jeeps, the full-size, have a place. You know, there's stuff for the two-wheel drive pickup trucks to go, you know, and that's for the hunters. We have areas of the island that we discussed that's only boots only. No real motorized vehicles, you know, mountain bike or stuff that you can go into. But it's a huge track up in the Alvar. It's been a good thing for the island.
It's 150 feet down from here. And this is Canada right off in the distance. Coburn Island is about a mile away, but Canada probably is only about half that.
Marblehead is a viewpoint located on the easternmost point of Drummond Island. It's also the easternmost point in the Upper Peninsula. At the lookout, you stand on top of limestone cliffs 100 feet above Lake Huron for beautiful views of the North Channel. It's also a favorite spot for Jeepers.
This is where the Jeeps love to come. It's on the Jeep Badge of Courage. They love to do the steps at Marblehead, which is a little rock climbing.
Another one of Drummond's unique sites are the fossil ledges. The fossil ledges are located on the south shore of Drummond Island. The ledges are made up of the fossilized remains of a saltwater coral bed, a unique place formed by nature that not many people know about or get to visit.
The fossil ledges come down about 70 feet into the water, and they were created with the glacial movement as seen on almost all of Drummond Island. The glaciers rolled sedimentary rock along with limestone, and then the sedimentary rock eroded away and left these fossilized ledges.
Drummond Island is one of the largest islands in the Great Lakes. Along with its many miles of trails, you'll find rocky shores, sandy beaches, hardwood forests, peaceful meadows, and a great vacation destination. Meanwhile, back on the mainland, I traveled to Lake Antoine in Dickinson County to find out more about Project Fish.
Well, Project Fish was originated 3 years ago. Mark Herman and I, who was a teacher at the time, is now our principal. We have what's called project-based learning for a 6-week trimester in the spring, and we wanted to get the kids involved with outdoors. Many of the kids in our classes, you know, they're from the UP and their families hunt and fish, but there's several who don't. So we wanted to get all kids involved, and it's been a great class. I have to give kudos to Nick Baumgart. He helped coordinate this class for us when it first started in its infancy stage, and but now it's just blossomed into just a great experience for the kids. It's not just about fishing. We do craft tackle, we do fish. We went on an overnight camping trip this year, so we learned how to camp. We're trying to learn how to be good conservationists, you know, treat the outdoors with respect, talk about fire safety, a little bit about survival technique. And now today is kind of like a culminating activity where the DNR comes out. Jen Johnson from the Fisheries Department is here. She's showing the kids how to actually net a lake. you want to see hands-on, there it is right there. They're in the water, they're with the nets.
So we're here today at Lake Antoine with the 7th and 8th grade Iron Mountain class, and it's part of their project-based learning segment where they learn all about fish. And today we're learning about how to catch fish. As fisheries technicians and biologists, we use certain gear. We use gill nets, we use pike nets, and we use seines. So I'm going to talk to the kids about how we capture fish in a lake for our typical lake surveys. And see how it almost looks like a purse here, so it's going to capture a lot of good critters.
It's just an overall great opportunity for kids to hands-on learn about the resources that are in our communities in the UP. And you know, if you talk to the kids, you know, they just love the class. They're always asking, when can we go out? When can we go on another trip? And we've learned a lot about our community. I've learned a lot. The kids have learned a lot. The prior 2 years, we went out to Pine Creek, and we actually, they shocked the stream for us. We looked at the different invertebrates, the different types of fish that were in Pine Creek. Learned a lot that day as a trout fisherman. You know, I have the goosebumps actually talking about it because I love the outdoors, and I just like to see kids having fun when they're fishing and learning about, you know, our lakes and our rivers and our streams. And again, I want to mention Nick Baumgart. Even though he's not here with us today, he's now a teacher at West Iron County. He kind of helped educate me on all of these resources that are in our community, and I just think it's a fabulous learning opportunity for our kids, and you'll see that on their faces. There's 4 different stations. We have 7 kids in each station, and after about 20 minutes they'll rotate, and each kid will get a sample of each one of those 4 stations. We've had the fire department, we've had the DNR, and we have the Aquatic Invasive Species Coalition here today with us. And she's educating the kids on how to be good stewards of our environment because, you know, they're our future.
Aquatic invasive species, that's a hot topic in the UP, and it's really important for the students to learn about that as well because it affects our fish populations and affects our fun, and just important to learn and know how to identify them.
So we're out today with the Michigan DNR. We're helping out with the Iron Mountain PBL course, which is the project-based learning. It's a really great opportunities for these kids to get outside and learn in their natural classroom. So we're here at Lake Antoine. We're talking about a lot of fish habitat and fish biology, but also some of the things that might impact that as well. So we're talking about aquatic invasive species, and Lake Antoine is a really good example of that. We've got zebra mussels, Eurasian water milfoil, and a few other things too that have really impacted the ecology of the lake here. And so we're just kind of educating the kids on some of those impacts and what they can do to prevent the spread of those, and also steps they can take to, you know, recognize invasive species and learn a little bit more about them.
No, not a bear. It does look close to it, but bears are a lot. Oh, wolf. This is a wolf.
We also have wildlife folks here where they're learning about furs and skulls.
So it has like a lot more oils in its fur.
You know, if you look at the kids and how attentive they are right now, I mean, they're engaged as learners, and you can just see it on their faces. They're asking questions.
You know what kind of bullhead? There's 3 different
It's
kinds.
a brown bullhead, isn't it?
It's a black one. You got black or barbels. A brown or yellow will have more mottling on the sides, be yellow, more yellow or tan. And it'll have more of a yellow belly, where this is more of a cream colored. So that's just a big black bullhead.
They actually went out this morning and set nets, and they have several species of fish over there. And so you look at the fish that he has over there. He probably has 8 different species of fish that they netted just this morning. And one of the fish that they netted is a 27-inch walleye. It's huge.
About a 26, 27-inch walleye. So there's some nice ones out here.
Is that a male or a female, or don't you know?
This one is a female. So it's already spawned out female, so it's kind of late. But it's actually up in the spawning area where they typically spawn, where we caught it. It's actually a bluegill sunfish hybrid. See how it kind of has the characteristics of both? Right here, along the ear flap, kind of a real faint color. Sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's yellow, or a pumpkin seed will be red. A bluegill is just solid blue. How can you tell it's a pike and not a muskie? One way you could tell is the background. It's kind of a darker background, more of a pale green, where a muskie is a much lighter background with dark spots. Where a pike is dark background, light spots. You could also count the pores on the bottom. Pike have more pores on the bottom than muskie. Largemouth bass, how can you tell? Yep, the lateral line is black. Smallmouth, they have more mottled appearance and it's more of a bronzish color. This is more of a green color. They're called mossback or big mouth. They also have a much bigger mouth. Their mouth extends past their eye, and where smallmouth doesn't. They like rock, gravel, sand, where a largemouth will inhabit more of the lily pads and the mucky bottoms. And all our nets today.
Again, I'd like to thank the Michigan DNR for giving us this opportunity, having their employees come out and talk to our kids. But you know, let's face it, if we don't educate our youth, what kind of future are we going to have? So I just think it's a great learning experience for the kids, and you know, some of this is going to promote kids going into the field of being a fish biologist or a game warden or somebody who works for the state in the environmental field. I've had kids write about classes and things like that. I've had kids write about wanting to become game wardens and fish biologists. So, you know, it's just a great opportunity for our kids to get educated in the outdoors, and you know, it's a great class to have because it's all hands-on learning, and it's about our communities and our environment.
Here's a look at what's happening around the UP. This weekend is Michigan's Free Fishing Weekend. On Saturday, June 9th, it's the 13th annual Baraga County Lake Trout Festival in Lawrence. The tournament features separate classes for lake trout and salmon with many cash and merchandise awards as well as door prizes. The tournament is combined with a variety of family-oriented events, all of which take place at the Waterfront Park and Marina in downtown Lawrence. For more information, visit laketroutfestival.com. On Sunday, June 10th, it's the 45th annual Rice Lake Fishing Derby hosted by the Lake Linden Hubble Sportsmen's Association. Fishing begins at 7 and ends at 4. It's a great day of family fun with $1,500 in fishing prizes and $5,000 in prizes overall. That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week right here on Discovering.